You guys ever get bullied? Do you guys ever have people make fun of you? Do you ever have someone call you out publicly, like in front of everyone? It hurts. It really does. A mistake has been made, and it's unfortunate that the beast now has to be unleashed, because this video will be the death of
Logan, God, you fucking come here! God, you fucking come here! Do it me right now!
What's up, guys? So a pretty big story in the YouTube creator space right now is the Logan and Jake Paul and Dillon Danis and Nina Agdal situation. If you don't know all those names, you will soon, I promise. But if you do know all those names, let me burn through the backstory real quick and get everybody caught up to speed. So let's wind the clocks back. We have two brothers, the Paul brothers, Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Logan being the older brother, Jake being the younger brother. So they've gone through their fair share of beef online, and it's been uncomfortable to watch. It's been weird. There was a time where they role-played as rappers, and it was real cringe for everybody.
I'm gonna finish this. Also did this in one day. Help me, help you, make a better song, bitch.
I made one phone call. I got the same house as you. Same cars too. It's really not that hard.
That was sort of during YouTube's awkward phase. You have the weird haircuts, you have the clothing, all the stuff that goes along with an awkward phase.
Little brother Jakey.
So the first real beef that Jake and Logan had started with Jake's then girlfriend, Alissa Violet. What happened was Jake wanted to go on a vacation on a ski trip, and he didn't want to bring his girlfriend, Alissa, because he wanted to sleep with another girl that was going on the vacation. Sweetheart of a guy, clearly. Mind you also, Alissa would get the amazing opportunity to hear her boyfriend upstairs sleeping with other girls.
I'd just get back from the gym, I'd be cooking food, and then all of a sudden I'd hear them upstairs, like I could hear it. I could literally hear it. Like, do you know what that does to a person?
Hey, break up with him. Hey, Alissa, break up with him. She did. Not the story, not the point. Who cares? Moving on. So she hits up Logan. They end up going to a club, and one thing leads to another. They end up sleeping together. So after the fact, Alissa feels horrible because she's part human, and apparently Logan is not. And you don't have to take my word for it.
We texted after, and we were like, I was like, please don't ever tell Jake. I don't ever want this to get out. It was so stupid. He was like, listen, I'm a savage. I'm a maverick.
Oh, fuck.
Alissa was even in a music video that Logan did dissing Jake.
Oh, that's Alissa Violet. Used to be your chick. Now she in the low gang, and you know she on my...
This is when they had diss tracks on each other all the time. It was a very, very strange time for YouTube, like I said. So Logan makes a diss track on Jake. Jake makes diss tracks on Logan. They go back and forth. It was obnoxious. Thank God it's over. But the beef isn't over. So that ended, I guess. They're cool for a while. Cut to years later. Logan moved to the WWE and podcasting, and Jake moved on to boxing and podcasting. Jake went on to box all the biggest UFC fighters that were retired and not boxers. But he won. He won every single time, except against Tommy Fury. So the only boxer that Jake lost to was a boxer, not a YouTuber or a MMA fighter. He was actually a boxer. Okay. Anyway, on Logan's end, years before the WWE, he fought Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition match that he lost. So this new beef, how did it start? Well, it started when Jake went on to Logan's podcast, Impulsive, which is the #1 podcast in the world.
Welcome back to Impulsive, the #1 podcast in the world.
Your problem is,
Hold on, let me handle
here's
this.
your problem. Here's your problem. You've talked to too many guys that let you say shit like that, and then it becomes like vernacular.
I don't know by which metric he's measuring this, but #1 podcast in the world, just like mine. It's the #2 podcast in the world. By which metric? Who knows? But I said it, so it's true, and it's on the internet, so it's fact. Anyway, so Jake's on Impulsive, and Logan starts diving in with these weird digs, like saying, you sniped all these fights from me.
Tommy Fury's on my fucking radar. I have him in my scopes. I wanted it when Jake was fighting him. And I'm gonna be back in the conversation, which I'm fucking stoked about. Yeah, dude.
No, I'm gonna finish him off first. I gotta handle that business first.
We'll see, bro, because you definitely sniped the Nate Diaz fight from me. You've been so lenient in giving you your opponents.
And Jake, with every right, says,
It's not your option to give me my opponents. you haven't fought anyone. You don't fight. You don't fight real fights. It's just not your option to give me my opponents. You're not even a fighter. You do exhibitions and lost 4 years ago. So it's not your option to like give me my fights. That me and Nate Diaz have been talking about that for years, and then you popped up and were like, no, now it's my turn. I want that fight, and then start talking shit, and then try to like get the fight in Saudi Arabia, like on the microphone, and like trying to like jump in on all of these things.
He belittles Jake's achievements the whole time and throws more shade than Dillon Danis. Don't worry, sports fans, we'll get there.
What do you think happens if you fight Floyd Mayweather?
I would knock him out,
Bro.
100%.
Don't be ridiculous.
One of Logan's attacks towards Jake was that he wasn't able to bring a Prime bottle into Jake's boxing event because the main promoter of that event was Celsius, which is a competitor of Prime. Makes all the sense in the world to me. Apparently, Logan couldn't wrap his head around it.
Mentioning or bringing in Prime to the stadium. They said I would get kicked out if I brought a Prime bottle. Ridiculous, dude. Do you think I would ever ban you from promoting any of your shit at any of my events?
If they're paying us millions of dollars and they say, hey, but we don't want this person to be doing this stuff at the event with a competing
That's
brand.
ridiculous. I couldn't bring in a Prime bottle.
Well, that's the brands. That's the brands getting involved. I have no say in that. I don't give a fuck. But if they request something and they're paying millions of dollars to be the title sponsor.
But the request is this. Your brother can't bring a Prime bottle into the stadium, and if he does, he will be escorted out by security.
At whose event?
Your event.
Exactly. My event.
I'm your brother.
Yeah, exactly. So respect what's going on at my event.
And I did.
Okay.
I thought it was ridiculous.
You have a Prime card coming up. If you walked in with a Celsius headband to it, you probably would say that's
I
unacceptable.
don't give a fuck. You're getting paid millions of dollars by Celsius. Yeah, they're our competitor, but like, dude, come on.
Like, let's say Nike was sponsoring the event and was like, hey, Logan's going to be on camera. Can he not wear Adidas? Then it wouldn't piss you off.
From a business standpoint, that makes sense, Logan. It does.
You can't tell me I'm going to be escorted out of the venue if I bring a certain thing.
Technically, they can.
Technically, they can, yeah. But I just found it crazy.
I feel like I'm at my friend's house and their parents are fighting. I don't even know what, Should I go home?
For most of us, this would be a non-issue. The main sponsor of Jake's boxing event was Celsius, which is a direct competitor to Logan's Prime drink. A direct competitor. So, of course, they don't want you promoting another brand. Why don't you understand? That rhymed. And it's funny, too, because Logan claims if the tables were turned, he wouldn't give an F. He wouldn't give a single F. If the tables were turned, he wouldn't give an F. Not one F would he give. But that's not true either, because the tables were basically turned in a situation before. Something that had to do with Jake's online gambling business, sports entertainment, whatever he calls it.
Well, it's also a sports media company. It's not just sports betting.
And Logan decided to make a call on his own. It wasn't in a contract like with the Prime thing where it said, your brother can't bring a Prime bottle. No. But Logan claims he wouldn't give an F. Well, it seems when the tables were turned, he did give an F.
Oh, f*** you, by the way.
Oh my goodness! What is going on? Why? Why?
Why'd you blur my logo?
Oh, the better logo?
Mm-hmm. You.
I knew you were going to ask this.
You blurred his
Actually,
logo?
no, I didn't. I figured you'd understand. You know why I blurred it. You know damn well why I blurred your logo on Johnny's parachute.
I don't know why.
Johnny DeJulius, who's right there, base jumped yesterday before Jake's fight. His parachute, when he opened it, has a giant better logo on it. He's a better ambassador, a better athlete. BETR, Jake's gambling app. Bro,
well, it's also a sports media company. So it doubles. It doubles. It's not just sports betting. Like, I'm using fucking Prime water bottles, my whole camp.
I love you to death, but I'm a Barstool
Yeah,
ambassador.
I know.
I'm a Barstool ambassador for the Barstool
I know. I'm just kidding.
If Logan really thought this was a problem, he could have brought it up to Jake and say, hey man, by the way, you know I'm an ambassador for Barstool. I'm going to blur the logo. Please don't get upset. You know, if you're understanding. Or reach out to Barstool and be like, hey man, is it cool if my brother's friend's parachute has his brand's logo? I'm sure they'd say, nope. Why you calling? Why you wasting everyone's time? Hang up the phone and go do laundry or something productive. Get out of here.
Fine. I do apologize. It's just such a lucrative deal for me.
But would they make you blur it? Like it's not like
we should ask.
It's a
because you're right.
conflict.
Because you're right.
It's
because
not, bro. Like it's not a big deal. And also,
I know.
it's 2 different apps.
I know.
But it just seems Logan doesn't want Jake to do well. I think that is the case, especially when you consider that Logan has teamed up with 2 of Jake's like arch enemies. One, KSI, who is part owner of Prime, is a rapper and influencer on YouTube who's boxing as well.
KSI ready to record. Oh my goodness! It's bye-bye KSI!
The other, UFC president Dana White. Doesn't sound like a great brother to me. So for a guy like Logan who thought it was a good idea to film a self-deleted man in a Japanese forest.
I did read that. Yeah. He filmed someone who had committed suicide in Japan, and he put it on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, I guess there's this forest. It's nicknamed Suicide Forest because everyone just goes there to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And he was going there supposedly to film how it's haunted, and then they find a body, and it's pretty gross. Like, look at his hands, they're blue.
Oh, so he got a chance to look at it, and he still approved it, and then released it.
Yeah, and then he made a thumbnail where it looked like he posed for like photos with the guy in the background. It's very, this was a person, and they're like laughing right next to this body. It's.
Well, you never stand next to a dead guy?
No. God damn it.
You'd assume Logan would have a little more tact and a little more careful with what he said.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
But no, he doesn't have tact, and he's not careful, and it stems from the root problem here, which is Logan's enormous ego. Logan has built such a large ego from extreme narcissism that he sees the world very differently than it actually is. So I think it's purely out of envy for Jake on Logan's end that he comes up with these crazy ideas and notions, and he comes up with these super hot takes. I think the hottest take is him saying that Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz, Tommy Fury, all these guys are all choosing to fight Jake because he's the easier fight. And they're all scared potentially of Logan.
I think I'm better than you. And I think Nate chose you for a reason. And I think everyone knows that.
What do you mean?
Even in here.
But what have you done to prove that you're better than me?
I don't know. Went toe-to-toe 8 rounds with the greatest boxer of all time. What do you think happens if you fight Floyd Mayweather?
I would knock him out.
Bro.
100%.
Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
You think because you lost a fight to Floyd Mayweather that you're better than me at boxing?
You said I won the fight.
In person, when I was watching it, I thought so. But then, yeah, watching it back, it's like, okay, I've had like a biased point of view, like sitting there in person.
This is the first time I've heard you say that.
And afterwards, when I saw that you lost it on TV, people in interviews would still be like, what do you think? I'm not going to be like, no, I watched it back and I thought he lost. No, he fucking won because you're my brother.
I don't disagree. But the fact is, I went toe-to-toe for 8 rounds with the greatest boxer of all time. And you're not able to see how good I was in that fight. And yes, I'm in the WWE currently, but I like boxing a lot. And I think I'm really good. And I'm excited I get to show it again.
I think you need to still prove to the people, to the community, to the world that you have the ferociousness to put a man down.
I don't disagree with you, and that's what I fully intend to do. But I'm saying you had your chance with Tommy. You did. You had it, right? I have not. I've not gotten to eat at all. Like I thought I had that Nate fight locked up. You took it. I said, okay, go for it. I wanted the Tommy fight.
Wait,
JJ
but I didn't.
Said he wanted it.
I didn't
said,
take a fight from you that wasn't necessarily yours.
But motherfuckers are avoiding me. They are avoiding me or picking someone else, and that's obnoxious. And everyone secretly knows why. No one wants to say it because I have an 0-1 record and I wasn't able to knock out the best fighter of all time. But I think it's fucking obvious, bro. I'm very athletic, and I've gotten the hang of boxing in the past 2 years after fighting the GOAT. And I'm excited to show that. And granted, do I still have something to prove? Absolutely. But if for whatever reason it doesn't go in KSI's favor, the story arc, the vengeance arc of avenging my business partner and brother is right there.
Where are you coming up with that, buddy? You're telling me the guy who's never won a fight, everybody's terrified of, more so than the brother who's won several fights against, not boxers, but they were UFC fighters. Yeah, they're retired. You still got to give some credit to Jake there. Logan really believes that these fighters are scared of him, and that's why they're choosing to fight Jake over him. No, they're choosing to fight Jake because he's the more legitimate fight, because you've never won a fight. You've never even fought a real boxer. You've never even fought a former MMA champion. You've never fought anybody of note. You fought your prime business partner before you guys were business partners. Another social media YouTuber. Come on, bro. Where does this delusional thought process stem from? Well, I think we already have the answer to that. It's Logan's ego. Logan's ego is so large that he's created this fantasy world in which he's the main character. Logan does this really cool thing where he plays both sides, and Jake even points this out.
I want to make something clear because there is this narrative online. You know, you're supporting your brother's enemies. Like, dude, you're living your life. You're your own entity, and so am I. And we have a lot in common. We are also extremely fucking different. If I had a beef that ran its course with someone and I don't want to have that beef anymore and I actually get along and like this human and want to build something, if I grew up loving Dana White and the UFC and I get a chance to I'm going to take these opportunities. I'll always be a ride or die, no matter what. But I don't know if I always have to yield and bend my personal ways because we are brothers and that's the sole reason.
But this is exactly what I'm saying. You're literally painting the picture of you are playing both sides. When it's convenient for you,
faulty comparisons.
But when it's convenient for you, we're brothers. But then when it's not, you do the exact opposite of like, but we're completely separate. So like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do as well.
I'm building a business.
But that's what I'm saying. You play both sides like very well, like extremely well.
To me, it doesn't feel like I'm playing both sides. And maybe that's why you're saying I do it extremely well is because that's just the reality of the situation and people can see that both sides. You're Jake Paul, I'm Logan Paul. We are different people. We have different interests. We have different friends.
But then but even just 15 minutes ago, then all of a sudden you're like, but we're brothers.
And we are brothers. That sentence can end with "and we are brothers." Yes.
But where does that rank? Because sometimes you let it rank down here, and sometimes you want it to be number one when it's convenient for you.
When
Prime can't go into the building, we're brothers. When you want to partner with Dana White and KSI, you're your own entity.
I think when we as brothers no longer become additive to each other, and it feels like you or I are trying to take from one another, and I don't believe I've ever tried to take from you, whereas you, I feel like, have tried to take from me, at least maybe not you, but maybe your team. That's when I feel like it falls apart.
First, when it works for Logan, he's his own man building his business, right? I'm my own entity. I'm my own person. I'm my own thing. I'm separate from everyone and you especially. But then when it's beneficial for him, dude, I'm your brother, man. I'm just your brother trying to build a business. I can't bring a bottle into an arena. I'm just your brother, man. It's your brother, though. You can't have it both ways. I want to have a hot girlfriend who just sleeps with me and also be able to sleep with hot girls on the side. But she can have it both ways, right? But I think at this point it's pretty clear that Logan has a lot of envy towards Jake, and he doesn't like him succeeding because then he feels that he's not doing as well. Let your brother do things. Let him do well.
I think you just want to beat Tommy to be able to say that you're better than me at boxing.
Well, I'll never fight you, and I don't want to fight JJ again.
So with all this beef and jealousy going on, you'd assume Jake would pack his bags, be like, later, big bro, go do his own thing, abandon Logan, and say, dude, I'll talk to you when you're ready, when you're a normal person, when you get rid of that crazy ego and that extreme narcissism. But that's not what happens. Jake actually jumps in Logan's corner super quick. So after all this beef and trauma that these two have been going through, what could change that would make Jake go from, dude, screw Logan, to becoming like his biggest cheerleader? What could happen? What possibly could be the answer? Well, ladies and gentlemen, enter Dillon Danis, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a Twitter troll who is a good friend and former training partner of Conor McGregor. For those of you who don't know who Dillon Danis is, he's the guy that Khabib jumped out of the octagon to kick in the face after he choked out Conor McGregor in their fight.
He's screaming at Dillon Danis, Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach. Oh, and now Khabib, no, and he's going right at Dillon.
You could say Dillon Danis isn't mutually loved by everybody. He's actually hated by most of the internet. He actually was a very promising prospect at one point for the world of MMA, and he's done very well in jiu-jitsu. He won both his fights in Bellator, which is like the smaller UFC for those of you who don't know. And then either by injury or because he's not in good enough shape, he had to pull out of a couple fights, one of the fights being with KSI. What were you doing during training camp, brother? Not training camp? He should have been training. Instead, he was doing food truck diaries on Brendan Schaub's 15th podcast.
He was getting mad at me for like.
Hey, look! It's Conor McGregor's face right there! Pussy! Pussy! Piece of shit! Pussy! Oh, no.
Oh yeah, that happened too. I told you, this guy's mutually hated. Jake threw water balloons at Dillon during Brendan Schaub's little food truck diary thing that he did, and he had Dillon Danis on. Brendan Schaub and Dillon Danis. Yeah, that's a podcast I want to see. Dillon Danis and Brendan Schaub, two idiots that used to be sort of respected fighters who both went into comedy. One doing horrible stand-up and the other doing Twitter trolling. Anyway, enough about Schaub. He's the worst. After Jake lost to Tommy Fury, KSI decided he wanted a piece. So now they have a Prime card featuring Tommy Fury versus KSI. What would be better than having one of the co-owners of Prime on the main event of the Prime card? Perhaps Logan, the other partner of Prime, fighting on that same card as a co-main event, you're saying, is the answer? That is the correct answer. As soon as Logan wants in on the card, he's going to need an opponent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, enter Dillon Danis, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a Twitter troll. But I'm just kidding. We already know who he is. Now Logan is set to fight the Twitter troll himself, Dillon Danis. So what do you get when you cross a Twitter troll with a man who has the largest and most fragile ego in the world? Well, you get gold, ladies and gentlemen. Pure gold. To sell a fight, you need a few things. Right? You need a good storyline. You need a good build-up. And you need good stakes. May it be a redemption arc, or perhaps for your record, or just for bragging rights. And ideally, you have two fighters with big names. In this case, we have one fighter with a big name, and Dillon Danis. And also to sell a fight, of course, you need people to be invested and care enough to want to buy pay-per-views and tickets. So Logan has the big name. What does Dillon bring to the table? And guys, this is where it all gets so fun. Either knowingly or not by the promotion or by Logan, Dillon would turn out to be an amazing promoter for this fight specifically, and it could only be for this fight. So is that enough? Dillon being a Twitter troll, is that enough to sell pay-per-views, to sell tickets? Well, as Conor McGregor showed his little protege, yeah, if you talk enough crap and you do it well enough, you sell the fight.
This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't move. They're not. Who the fuck is that guy? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that? When I take that guy's gold, leprechaun. Oh, good one.
So Logan's got a lot of backlash on the internet for his past remarks.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
So you assume he'd have very thick skin, like the thickest of skin, right? But you'd be wrong. Even though he says he does and he claims he does, he doesn't. It's another lie. He actually has the thinnest skin ever. He might not even have skin. I think he just has tissue paper. Ohio white colored tissue paper covering his bones and veins. So you'd assume he'd be immune to the hate, but as we all know, actions speak louder than words, especially legal action. It actually does come to that, which is completely game-changing, and I'll explain why when we get there. All that hate for Dillon would change. Dillon didn't even have to get creative and search far and wide for a weak spot to find and exploit and get Logan all riled up and hype the fight. No, he took a silly metaphorical shot in the dark with a metaphorical BB gun, and somehow the impact was that of a figurative nuclear bomb that hit Logan's ego hard. So you're asking yourself, what soft spot was so big it had an immediate you sank my battleship effect? He posted a picture of Logan's girlfriend with another guy. I mean, a picture of his fiance because they're engaged now. He would even hide her in his videos that he posted that I guess people watch.
Pick a popular political figure, any political figure in the world. Nancy Pelosi? All right, so we're back out here in Dorado Beach right now, me, Logan, and Nancy Pelosi.
Who cares what Logan's vlogging about? It's like the Truman Show, if Truman was like the worst person in the world.
Let me get you some help, Truman. You're not well.
And if Truman found out that the world was all built around him and all circled around him, but got stoked about it and was like, I knew it, called it.
Well, cocoa drink. All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua. No artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about?
Mind you, when Dillon went and attacked Nina, she's not some poor little sweetheart from Ohio that he pulled from obscurity and just started attacking online.
How can anyone expect me to carry on?
No, in fact, Logan's girl is a model and a professional at saying risque sexual remarks while being filmed.
I sucked a in a football stadium full of people once.
So Dillon was posting picture after picture after picture of Nina, and he wouldn't even caption them. Sometimes he would just say good morning, and it was a new picture of Nina. He even superimposed a picture of him with Nina. It was sort of creepy and weird. And I get it. She's a model. She has some fame. People take pictures of her. And that's what a lot of these pictures are. It's just celebrities like LeBron James. But also some of them are with ex-boyfriends, namely Leonardo DiCaprio, this guy who likes sticking his tongue down her throat and vice versa. Not only were there so many pictures with different celebrities like LeBron James, but lots of pictures of guys she dated. And it's not a small amount. It's a lot. Lots of pictures. And hey, far be it from me to slut shame. That's not what I'm doing here, because I think that's ridiculous. I say live and let live. Let people do what they want. Let them live their lives. But she does have a knack for saying overtly sexual things online.
I don't really think that pretty, so I prefer you to hide it inside casually.
Any foods that make either of you gag?
My gag reflex is pretty strong.
Okay.
Yeah. Take a lot.
Okay. You went further. Okay. We're talking about food. I don't even know where we're at.
Not a great look, but she said these things and she dated these guys. So what? And if she came out right away and owned it and said, yeah, I've dated some guys in the past, who cares? What is it to you? I'm doing me. You should do you. I hope everybody can enjoy themselves as much as I'm enjoying myself, just loving life right now. I wish everybody the best. If she would have come out in front of all this, it probably wouldn't have been a story at all. It probably just would have been Dillon saying, oops, I guess I tried that, didn't work, moving on to the next. Let me see what other soft targets Logan has to do emotional damage before he did physical damage in a ring because they're set to fight each other. So weird. Just fight the dude. But Nina didn't come out ahead of it, and Logan handled it probably the worst way possible. Immediately, he showed Dillon, this affects me.
He keeps going at my fucking innocent third-party bystanding fiance, and I think he's very sensitive. I think he's a broken little boy that can dish it but can't take it. He's fake all around. Fake fighter, fake images, fake tweets, fake cease and desist, fake confirmation 8-round fights. He's a fucking liar.
Has it gone too far? I saw a video of him saying that it's mental warfare and you're going to be so broken by the time you get in there because of the photos that he's been tweeting.
Yo. If Dillon thinks a single photo he's posted has rattled me at all, he's a dumbass. I've seen it all. I've heard all the insults. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly who my wonderful, beautiful fiance is. Some moron troll posting some bullshit on Twitter will never faze me ever.
I believe she didn't come out ahead of it because not only was the world seeing her poor choice of story times that she was telling anybody that would film her, but Logan was also seeing this. And I believe it was for the first time. I think Logan had a very different opinion of this woman that he was about to marry, and all these videos and pictures coming out sort of shattered that illusion for him. Why would I think that? What kind of simp would I be to come out with this crazy theory thinking that she wasn't completely honest with Logan, and she told him everything about her past, and she was proud of it? It's not because someone red pill roofied my drink, and now I'm like, women suck, dude. I think it's not just a theory. I think I even have some evidence to back it up.
I think there's a lot of stuff people don't know about you.
Yes, she's oddly frightened out of her mind with that massive eek expression. The points of her mouth are down in fear, eyes wide open looking at Mike when he said that. I noticed clear stress and tension in her neck. Keep in mind, this podcast was recorded before the truth of Nina's past came out. Logan and Mike have no idea what Nina is apparently hiding from them. Notice Nina's response to Logan now.
Well, that's why I'm nervous.
Yeah, Nina's eyes widen massively again in fear. When we are fearful, our eyes widen to take in our surroundings. Also notice that she holds onto Logan's leg at that exact moment to possibly influence Logan into having a feel-good physical connection. Nina is clearly scared out of her mind that they researched her and are going to spring her past on her during the podcast.
The amount of meat on this bone.
On your bone?
Nina seems to be trying to deflect from her past being brought up, oddly with sexual humor, because she seems to have a one-track mind. Do you see Logan's smug smile there? Clearly she only had that one-track mind with Logan because he brought that side out of her. Yes, us guys with our male egos many times believe that because that's what we want to believe.
We have been super intentional about being private while we were dating. I did that
because I didn't want our relationship in any way to be about or affected by content.
Did you see her eyes widen sharply there in fear? Yes, there's something big that she's hiding that may impact their relationship.
That when you put yourself out there online, you are throwing yourselves to the wolves of the internet, and it can be a gnarly place.
That's true, but there's also some things that the internet would have found out before he proposed to her with a $750,000 engagement ring.
Oh, it's perfect.
$750,000.
Logan was basically hiding her for over a year, and of course Nina wasn't completely against that move either, to possibly keep her past a secret.
Why does she look so scared? Does she think Logan and Mike are about to drop some bombshell? Does she really think that low of Logan that she wouldn't put it past him to drop this bombshell of, I know what kind of slut you've been in the past, on his show just for clicks? Does she really believe that? Because she looks scared. She looks like she's waiting for the other shoe to drop. She looks terrified. And is it really beyond comprehension that she might think Logan isn't above outing his own girl on his podcast for views? But then Logan says this.
She wouldn't have sex with me. You not having sex with me for the duration of time that you did was very important.
You thought something was wrong with me.
I'll be honest, I thought I did.
You talked to Mike about it.
This girl's perfect as far as I can tell. There's one unexplored venture, and I have reason to believe that there's probably something wrong with it, because if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
So if you have a past of saying risque sexual jokes and anecdotes and a fairly busy dating life, why would it be a big deal if you held out? Was Nina perhaps trying to project an image that maybe isn't reflective of who she actually is?
Obviously, you have a couple of things in your past that I wasn't sure I wanted to be associated with that.
I may be way off here, and maybe she holds out every time. Maybe she only holds out when she thinks it's really serious. But then why look so scared? Why do you look like you're about to be set up? Who cares either way? Well, we know you probably care if this isn't reflective of who you actually are. And we know Logan cares.
Do you believe that that waiting period had a long effect and led to this moment?
No.
I do. I absolutely do.
Really? Really?
Yes, Nina seems scared and therefore concerned that Logan became interested in her because he doesn't know her past.
Do I have a good amount of respect for it, and did I appreciate it? I absolutely did. I absolutely did. I thought it was classy. Kind of always wanted my fiance to be that.
He's not saying he always wanted his wife to be a little promiscuous and do her own thing, carve her own path. No, he makes it very clear that he wanted his wife to not have a past, to be the type of girl who would hold out. And that's probably who she was acting like she was, but that's not reality. I don't even know how much of this video I can show.
By the way, I'm very proud of myself. This is the longest I've ever gone without sex since I started. Obviously, it's driving me crazy. I am struggling. I need inside of me. ASAP. Like, all I want is like a big fat sausage just destroying my body. So if any of you guys know a good dick that doesn't have STDs on it, I'll take it. Right here.
As we can see with all these pictures that Dillon has been posting non-stop. Every day, a new picture at least. I mean, I could totally see it taking a toll on their relationship. He thinks and said publicly on his show that he's looking for the type of girl that would hold out and wouldn't be promiscuous, meaning she wouldn't have a past that was a little sketchy to say the least. Again, for the fifth time, I'm not slut shaming. I think that's all Gucci. I just obviously have a problem with somebody misrepresenting themselves. That's not who she is. Own it, girl. If you say that stuff and you're the girl who models and says risque things, own it. Be that model who says risque stuff.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Yeah? She's a slut. Bang.
Just don't pretend, oh yeah, I wouldn't sleep with him. Oh, Mike thought there was something wrong with me. You guys talked about it. Remember? That's so crazy. That's just who I am. Just me being me. Little old Nina Neens. Being me. Little old Nina Agdal. Agdal, whatever her name is. I don't care. That's the point. And I think that's the big point. Nobody cares. The fact that Logan cares so much is the only reason we care. There might be a couple reasons. One of the reasons was found from the most unlikely source. We got to go back to our boy, Jake Paul.
This guy's he's a good Twitter troll. He's excellent. And even if I do want to tackle
I don't
it.
think he's a good Twitter troll because he's never, you have a very large weak spot that he's exploiting. But when he tweets about anything other than Nina, no one cares.
Yeah, but didn't he get like famous for tweeting?
He's definitely, let's give him some.
But he was dead until you resurrected his career. He's like makes jokes, but it's largely in part that he's exploiting Nina. And there's so many hurt males out there who can't get girls, and they're the ones who are like, yeah, like fuck girls, fuck women. I'm gonna do. I love what Dillon's doing here, and they know that they won't ever get a hot girl. And our society and culture and young men are hurting and are so hurt, and they're addicted to porn, and they have no way to interact with girls, and they text them and they're getting rejected, and then boom, boom, it's this never-ending cycle. And now they're finding a way out to unleash their hate.
Dillon didn't have a tough job. She was doing all the work herself. She really was. Just the stuff she said is so crazy. It's so crazy. Oh, we're about to show a gross video. What's your gag reflex like? Oh, it would take a lot to... Like, relax, you hound. Jeez Louise. Again, not slut shaming. But, whoa, it's a lot, right? It's a far cry from the, oh yeah, I wouldn't sleep with him. Yeah, and she thought something wrong. It's a very far cry from that. On a show called Ridiculousness, how do you get that cringe? Is this why Dillon went from an annoying poser that nobody liked, getting choked out by bouncers at bars? Yeah, that actually happened. To this unlikely hero of the internet. So is it possible that young men are hurting and are frustrated that they can't get a girl, and so they use this recent jargon to be fresh and fit?
They're all gold-digging skanks.
And hate on women, and that's why this is getting so much attention? Maybe.
Could you marry a Burger King employee? You're all dirty gold diggers. Admit you're
But if that's a factor, I believe there has to be other factors as well. By the way, good on Jake for noticing it's not so much the trolling of the troll, but the people that are feeding into the troll. Because Dillon really isn't a great troll. He just literally posts a picture with a girl and it says morning. That's not great trolling. That's posting a picture. But everybody's buying into it. Why? The amount of money Dillon is making on his socials right now is crazy. So who's tuning in? Is it who Jake said? Is it fight fans looking for something fun? Maybe it's just people who like drama. Or maybe it's people like me who are so fascinated with the concept they make a video about it. It could be all of the above or some of the above. None of those are mutually exclusive. You could hate women and love fighting and love drama and want to make a video on it. You could be all the things. You could be all the things. I sound like your parents and your teacher when you're a kid. You could be anything you want. But we also got to understand Logan is the only person that this would work on. Most people don't have crippling egos like Logan. If somebody attacked their fiance online, I'm sure they'd have a very different reaction. If he trusted and loved Nina and knew who she was, then none of this would matter. If he really didn't care, then no dice. Point for Paul. Sorry, Dillon, you missed. Also, even if Logan did care just a little bit, say, hey man, this is what I signed up for. This is the fight game, baby. The good thing about this being the fight game that you signed up for is you get to potentially knock out the guy who's been making your angel baby girl look bad on the internet. You get to throw a few fists at his face for 6 freaking rounds. That's a W in my book. Maybe you're thinking, yeah, Cameron, we get it. It's the fight game. But going after somebody's girl, that's crossing the line, man. And you'd be right. Seriously. I think it is crossing an invisible line that always moves, but it is crossing it. But chalk it up to Dillon being a shitty guy. Don't ever work with him again. Whoop his ass in the ring. Go have a snack and then bang your supermodel girlfriend, fiance. But Logan's ego simply won't allow that. He has to be cool guy with hot chick who can outsmart everyone else and is better than everyone else. And that's why it hurts. That's why it stings so bad. And again, like Jake said, Dillon isn't a great troll. Logan just has these giant soft targets. These Logan Paul ego-sized targets. They're huge. It's like shooting at the sky. You can't miss. But there's also an argument to be made that Logan crossed that line that he said shouldn't be crossed. He mentioned Dillon's dead father and called Dillon's mother a prostitute. This is attacking family, and these aren't public figures. His dead father isn't a public figure. Nina, your fiance, is a public figure. She liked the reputation, I think, of, ooh, she's the hot model who says risque stuff, every guy's fantasy. She's a lady on the streets, but a freak in the sheets. Logan crossed that line too. So he can no longer claim he's better than Dillon and holier than thou. because you've sunk to his level, my guy, like it or not. And some could argue even worse, because you made fun of his father who is deceased and called his mother a prostitute. He is just posting videos that your girl willingly made. So there's no more calling him an evil person or taking this moral high ground.
That's where we keep landing, is like Dillon's obviously damaged, and he may have some sort of mental illness that I empathize with, and he unfortunately, hurt people, and he's targeted an innocent bystanding female. And I think he's very sensitive. I think he's a broken little boy that can dish it but can't take it. So he stormed out. He threw a fucking tantrum and left. He's a dumbass. Yeah, Dillon lies about everything. He's fake. He's fake all around. He's a fucking liar.
Pot calling kettle, something like that, right? But it seems Logan's barometer for success for the longest time has been views and number based. So of course, another issue is Dillon is doing all the heavy lifting, promoting this fight, which is something Logan often claims he's so great at. He's the greatest promoter, right?
And people know the pay-per-view numbers I put up.
What?
They're fucking big, dude.
But you want,
I'm a great promoter.
Oh, you don't have to pay for ads. You guys are the ads.
There you go.
It's the fucking Tesla model. Elon never put an advertisement on TV once. So your whole marketing budget is you guys. And nobody can influence better than you guys can. So you saved the hundreds of millions. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's fucking genius. Oh, wow.
More views, more likes means better Logan. But if Logan knew who he was as a man and cared about values over views, then all of this stuff would be a little annoying. Yeah, but he's affected. And the reason I know he's affected is also the worst part of this story, in my opinion. For Dillon building this fight using Logan's fiance, he doesn't get anything on the back end. He doesn't get a percentage of the gate. He doesn't get pay-per-views. For fighting Logan Paul, what he gets is a lawsuit. I kid you not. Nina and Logan are filing this lawsuit. She is the one with her name on it. But he has much more money than her. So I'm assuming he's paying for it. And what couple doesn't talk about their legal issues? Because he chose Logan Paul as his opponent, this is what he gets for his trouble.
First, I totally understood it. Like, that's what you do to sell a fight. You prod, you poke, you get at the weak spots. And then the behavior became a bit stalker-esque. And then it's cyberbullying, then it's harassment, then it's committing a federal crime. His intention from the get-go was to pick a fight with a woman, because that's what a person like Dillon Danis would do. He's a coward. He doesn't want to fight me. He chose to pick a fight with the woman, who he's never met and has posted about over 500 times. Having an entire photo gallery of a woman you've never met before on your phone with over 500 photos is fucking weird.
If my girlfriend said, hey, I'm suing someone that you're directly involved with, that you're gonna physically fight, I'd be like, yeah, I want to know all about it. If she came to me out of the blue and said, by the way, that guy you're fighting soon, yeah, I'm suing him, I'd be like, what? I'd expect to be a part of that decision-making process. So to assume Logan isn't is insane.
He chose to fight a two-front war. The woman, who happens to be my fiance, decides to take a stand up for herself, hold this predator accountable for his vile actions. He's gonna have to fight that battle too, as well as getting the shit kicked out of me in the ring.
How is your fiance, Nina, dealing with this as it's happening? Because she's the one getting all the arrows at her, right?
The response that Nina is exhibiting and the strength of her character, the reason that I asked her to marry me, this woman is incredible. I love her so much. The person who I want to mother my children. I admire her, dude. Like, she honestly inspires me. She handled it in the most mature way possible. No one really cares about this all that much. They just don't like me. They like to see me fall, or they like to see me falter or get my feelings hurt. But I've been here before, like, this is where I live. Go for it, right? You're going to watch the fight, you're going to tune in, and you're going to watch me knock out the guy that you guys have been praising for 2 months.
And this is where we get another great taste of Logan playing that both sides thing.
And she's going to hold him accountable where he needs to be held accountable, which is in the justice system. But it's completely unrelated to our fight. You chose to pick a fight with a woman. The woman wants to stand up for herself. This ain't my lawsuit. I'm not suing this guy. She is. We're a unit, me and Nina.
It's her lawsuit. She did it on her own. That's all her. She did it. I had nothing to do with it. I'm back here, my own entity, back here being me. She's a grown-up. That's her decision. She wants to file a lawsuit. That's on her. She's her own entity. But if he wants to talk crap to Dillon, we're going to bankrupt you. We. He plays both sides. Not only does he do it with his brother, he does it with his chick. and he does it with the public.
You should say you don't sue the fucking guy that's your partner and fucking selling the
He's
fight.
not suing you.
Oh,
He's not suing you. 3. He's not suing you.
Who's suing me?
His fiance.
Yeah, who do you think calls the shots?
Oh, well, I don't know, actually.
Yeah, come on.
You think it's Logan calling the shots?
Of course he is.
Okay, so you're saying that he's suing you.
She doesn't have money. She's using his money for the fucking lawyer.
What's the status of the...
Still going. It's going. Yeah, it's bullshit. He's the first fighter in history to sue.
That's not true.
That is true. Look it up. You can't see that as a fucking lie when you don't know.
What are you talking about?
You don't know.
In the history of fighting...
There has never been another fighter to sue in the lead up to a fight.
Because of something involving a fight. You have to finish the sentence.
Yeah, this is involving the fight. This is a fight game.
But he's not the one suing. It's his
You can't
fiance.
say that he's not... You don't think that she went through him to sue?
I don't know. I don't know what the status is. All I know is that if you look at the lawsuit, it's Nina versus you, essentially, right? It's not...
Who wears the pants? I mean, you guys are the same. You guys both,
Now you're getting into... I see, now you're getting defensive.
I'm not getting defensive because I'm just telling the truth, and you try to say...
But you said that it was going to potentially put you in jail. There's no jail...
If I... Yeah, of course there is.
No, there isn't.
So if I go and post another picture, I won't go to jail?
No, she's suing you. She wants a restraining order.
Okay, she got the restraining order.
Temporary, right?
There's a lot of things that go into it, Ariel.
From your perspective, what is the status of this?
It's ongoing. I don't know. I mean, I have like 4 or 5 cases against me.
Why 4 or 5?
Because every single time it's a thing. It's like 2 of a picture, 1 of a defamation of character, which I could sue him for, which is like we can get to a suing battle, but that's what he wants to do.
Why? Why could you sue him for defamation?
Because he called my mom a prostitute, and so
she could probably sue him, not you.
Yes, but obviously she would go through me, and I would say no because I'm going to break this kid's face, and that's what Logan should be doing. If you want to defend your girl's honor, what do you do?
Yeah.
Well, you would probably sue, but let's be honest. Come on.
He's not suing you. Here's the point. If Logan was
obviously
actually
him,
suing you,
bro. Come on, you know that. If she came to him and said, "Listen," like he would be like, "Let me handle it. I'm the man. I'll go fucking knock this kid out." That's how you handle it. You don't go and fucking run to the law. And she's broke.
First, there was a restraining order saying Dillon couldn't post any more leaked images of her. He hasn't posted any leaked images of her. They've all been public. Pictures that she either got paid to take or interviews that she got paid to do or things that she wanted to promote her brand and her company and her IP, things that she signed up for. It's not like he's scouring the internet or hacking her Snapchat, which is another claim they made on the lawsuit. You think Dillon Danis knows how to hack anything? He couldn't hack it in MMA. Boom. Got him. Mic drop. Even though he won both his fights. But he only fought twice in like 10 years now. It's crazy. Dillon also missed a court date for this frivolous, nonsensical lawsuit. You're going to sue me after I just made you all this money? Because Logan does get money on the back end. Logan does get gate and pay-per-view percentages. So the more this fight is hyped, the more money going into Logan's pocket. So what is Logan mad about? It's because his ego is being damaged. His poor, fragile ego. Then Logan, in his infinite wisdom, posted this tweet. Seriously, Logan, how foolish are you? How dumb do you have to be to think you look smart and that you look like you're taking a W posting this stupid ass tweet? Your goal in both scenarios is to bankrupt him? Someone values money. I mean, come on, Logan, buddy, seriously? Don't you see how great this could be? This guy who's talking all this crap about you is making you money. And best part is, not only do you get paid, which I know you care very much about, not only are you making money, bud, but you get to punch the guy in the face for 6 rounds. For 6 rounds, he has nowhere to go. It's mano a mano. I would be the happiest guy on planet Earth if a guy who has been trolling and talking crap about my chick for like 3 months, I got a sanctioned fighting match where I got paid millions of dollars based on his trolling to go fuck him up in a ring. I couldn't be happier. That would be the happiest day of my life. So why isn't it yours? I'd be stoked. And he's also making me money at the same time? What? Best case scenario? And what do you do? Because you're not a man and you can't be like, hey, let me just square up and knock this piece of crap out. You're dropping a lawsuit on him? Don't you realize how ridiculous you look in all of our eyes? I can't think of one person that could look at this lawsuit and say, that's a good idea, other than you, bro. dude, I'm gonna bankrupt him. It's gonna be so up. You're talking about bankrupting a human being. I know you have in your head that he's this evil human, terrible person. He's just a person, man. He's a person who just had a kid. You want to bankrupt a new father who just lost his own father, and you're proud of that, and you're tweeting about it, and you're mentioning it on every interview possible?
I think he's forced to fight now, interestingly enough, because he committed a federal crime, which was what's it called? Disinseminating?
The word is disseminating.
Disseminating?
Yeah, you don't got to get into the details, and there's more counts coming. It's heavy, dude. I'll be honest. It's a fucking 50 caliber adamantium bullet to the dome. He's fucked because he has some real predatorial shit, which is what he's in trouble for. But ironically, I think it's what you said.
He has to fight now because he has tons of lawyers to pay for, probably for the next, I mean, I know how these lawsuits work, probably 2-3 years worth of lawyers. And if you have good lawyers, he said $400K in lawyer fees. Is probably going to be way more than that, actually. But what's interesting.
What about the damages? That's just
the lawyer fees.
That's just to defend himself when he's going to lose.
Because.
Yowza.
And from the outside looking in, I know you can't speak about it, or maybe we have to cut this out, but basically, like, from my point of view and what I've seen is this is like a serious, like, he actually did this. It's set in stone, and then now has, like, admitted to it on camera. So it's like game over, checkmate is what I think the lawyers would be saying.
Yesterday on Instagram, you posted that there's an unreleased clip from your face-to-face where he incriminates himself. Are you allowed to discuss? I don't know if you put that out.
I posted it today. Yeah. In the face-to-face, I gave him a little light deposition where he incriminated himself, but he's a dumbass, so he didn't know what I was doing, and he doesn't know that what he did is wrong. Like, I also think people are confused about what the lawsuit is. I think a lot of people think it's about, like, the photos he's been posting, the photos that are online. It's not. It's about a serious crime he committed, and to be honest, I don't know if I want to or even can or should dive in that much, because I don't want to undermine the justice system. Like, it speaks for itself. I don't want this to appear to be like fight promotion.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think the fight's already promoted.
The lawsuit has nothing to do with me, bro. This is Nina's thing. This is her decision. I support her 100%. I love that girl so much, and this has been crazy for both of us.
What do you mean you love her so much? We don't get to see your relationship burn and crash and everything. What do you mean you love her so much? You weren't supposed to do that. You're supposed to get divorced.
I know, it's crazy. This generation.
Have you no shame? Seriously, man. You see this as a W. That's insane to me. You should see this as the biggest L in your career. This is a lower low than that self-deleted Forrest video. This really is. Fighters don't sue, buddy. You're not cut out for this game. I would tell her, baby, drop those papers like a bad habit. You get to go into the ring and defend your fiance's honor. Say, I got you, babe. Guess who's defending your honor, babe? Guess who just went in there and went toe-to-toe for 6 rounds with this jerk? For you, babe. Even if you lost, you say, hey, I put it all out there for you, babe. But instead, you're happy with your chick suing him? Insane. No one talks to my babe like that, babe. Okay, babe? I'm so dumb. So why isn't Logan doing that? Why isn't he asking her to drop this frivolous, nonsensical lawsuit? We know he has a huge ego. So why wouldn't... Oh, wait. I think I get it. And I think there's 2 reasons. Number 1, he's scared. He's scared to fight Dillon, plain and simple. And so he's doing everything he can to avoid having to fight this man. He's hoping that Dillon is like, this is such a waste of my time. For all my trouble and putting in all this work for this fight, you're going to give me a lawsuit later, bro. I think that's what Logan's hoping for. I think he's praying he pulls out, especially because they put a clause in the contract saying that if Dillon were to pull out of the fight, he would owe $100,000. And the reason they have this clause is because he pulled out of that KSI fight, like I told you before. The reason, he said, he wasn't in shape because he wasn't training during his training camp, apparently.
Because if he pulls out, he still has to pay the lawyer fees because the lawsuit's still there, and he has to pay the $100K.
I know.
This guy doesn't. I bet you in his bank account, I've done a little bit of math, and I think Dillon Danis has about $60,000 to his name. then that's being generous.
Oh, they need them racks.
And so I think now, because of the lawsuit, he has to fight you to make the money that from the fight that he was going to make. But before that, I fully thought he was going to back out. But interestingly enough, he walked himself into this situation where he's going to need money. Otherwise, he's going to declare bankruptcy.
But even then, it doesn't end. You put liens on every paycheck he gets for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Y'all trying to garnish his wages? Damn.
So I think Logan is hoping against hope that Dillon just says, screw this, the 100K, whatever, get me out of this fight, get me out of this shit. Please drop this goddamn lawsuit. I'm so done with all this stuff. The second possible reason I think Logan is helping Nina pursue this lawsuit is because if he loses in the ring, he can say, well, I won that lawsuit. I think this is his plan. I think he either wants Dillon to pull out of the fight and pay that $100,000 clause and say, screw this, and now Logan doesn't have to fight him and potentially lose and look like an ass in front of the world. Or two, he says, hey, if I lose in the ring, at least I got you with that lawsuit. I bankrupted a new father. How do you not see the optics on this, buddy? This is the fight game. You're supposed to be a fighter. I know you care a lot about money, so that should be incentive enough. But the only thing more important to you than money is your fragile little baby ego. I know it's enormous, but the fragility is that of a baby. That's what I mean. Imagine if fighters started suing each other. The lead up to fights would suck because nobody would trash talk because they'd be afraid to get sued. And because the system is so freaking broken, the guy with more money wins every time. It's such bullshit. I do not see fighters suing each other over trash talk in the future because fighters don't think like that. And Logan Paul, that's why you're not a fighter and you're not cut out for this business. You just throw these crazy looping punches. As soon as you get an opportunity, you just go wild. You forget any training that you have had, and I know you've had training, and it looks like you just started yesterday. Jake, put this boy in his fucking place. Say, hey, big bro, we don't sue. Even if you demolish Dillon Danis, you are the bitch. Also, I feel it's important to mention Dillon claims he has this photo that would ruin Logan and Nina Agdal's relationship. And at first I thought he was bluffing. Maybe it's all BS, right? But apparently he showed Aiden Ross this photo, and here's his reaction.
Say that? Like, who? I don't know. I see his admin work. Alright. Yeah. Bro, what the fuck, bro? So you know I'm not lying? Bro, what the fuck, bro? I told you I wasn't lying. Now you get a vouch for me. No, that is wild, bro. I actually feel really bad. Tell me if I did, they would pull the fight if I posted it. Yeah, like that's too far. You think so? Bro, come on, bro. But should I save him from his girl? God, dude, what? How do you even have that? Have more. Is it nothing? Bro, my heart hurts. Oh God. For him or her? Like in general, bro. So should I be like man, like a human, and save him from his marriage? Or maybe you don't know. Maybe it's a picture of him with a guy. Jesus Christ.
Aiden seemed very off-put by whatever that image was. And maybe it's just a picture of Nina naked and Aiden is just such a soy boy beta cuck. I'm just kidding. You're cool, Aiden. I guess I don't know who you are. But Dillon is the one who was convinced that the picture is so bad that he would go to jail if he posted it. You're doing exactly what I'm doing right now. You're picturing what the picture could be. I knew it. And trust me, I get it. I did the same thing. And you don't want to hear what I came up with. Yeah, that. It's exactly that. But the world may never know. But trust me, I'm just as curious as you guys are. So, Logan, don't go forward with this lawsuit, man. Just don't. Or tell Nina not to. Wink, wink. It's a bad look. Dude, talk crap about your girl. I get it. It's annoying. But you get to fight him. You get to defend your babe. Defend the honor of your babe. And I'm sure Dillon's pissed. This guy has to pay back $100K potentially to pull out of the fight because Logan wants to throw a lawsuit at him instead of an overhand right. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. So the fight happened. They fought. And wouldn't you know it, Logan won. And not because he's skilled as a boxer. 6 rounds, Dillon threw 9 punches. The whole fight, he threw 9 punches. He also tried to guillotine him and drop guard. He tried a double leg. It was the worst fight I've ever seen. Piece of advice for Logan and for Dillon. Dillon, You can't talk that much shit and put on a performance like that. And for Logan, you can't talk that much shit and put on a performance like that and threaten to sue the guy and still seemingly going through with the lawsuit. It's done. You won. You didn't knock him out. You guys didn't knock each other's heads off. You didn't knock him out, bro. You're like twice his size, Logan. You didn't do it. And Dillon, work on your striking. He didn't have anyone in his corner. He didn't do a full camp again. What is your problem? You're good at jiu-jitsu. This isn't jiu-jitsu, buddy. So that's where we are. The fight happened, and it was the worst. The worst. The lawsuit's still very much happening, and I pray that changes because that is such a bad look. You want to solve a problem, you do it in the ring. You want to solve a problem, you do it with your fists. You don't do it with a pen. Not if you're a fighter. And Logan, you're not. So it started with Logan and Jake beefing back in the day when they were younger, and then they got cool, then they beefed again, and then Dillon Danis came into the picture and made them cool because he was a common enemy. So I guess the moral of the story is a common enemy can bring people together. And if you sue somebody you're scheduled to fight, you're a bitch. And lastly, don't pull guard in a boxing match. That's insane. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the heck out of you. This has been the first installment of the RedEye series, which is different from the podcast that never sleeps. It's not the live stream. It's not Crash Talk. It's pre-recorded, pre-edited videos for you guys to enjoy. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, guys. We'll see ya.